On the seventh day, God finished the work that God had been doing. And God ceased on the seventh day from all the work that God had done. And God blessed the seventh day and declared it holy, because on it God ceased from all the work of creation that God had done.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, barei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu. Ubratzon Zikaron lemase v'reshit, ki hu yom let me cry kodesh, zecher letziat Mitzrayim, kivanu v'acharta, v'yotanu kidashta, mikol hamim, v'shabbat kodechecha, be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat. Amen. L'chaim.
Thank you, Lori. Our opening reading is not found in your prayer book. It is a poem by Alden Solovey. Light overflowing. The light in me sees the light in you is the light of God. Oh, brilliance. Sparkling from your eyes, radiating from your chest. Oh, wonder. Shining around us, shimmering with amazement. Oh, glory. Overflowing my heart, touching your soul. The light of God sees the light in you, is the light in me. Turn to the Baruch Hu, which is the call to worship. You can find it on page 28. Please rise in body or in spirit.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamavorach, Baruch Adonai Hamavorach leolam vaed.
Page 31, we read together. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim. We turn to page 34 and 35 for the Shema, the watchword of our faith.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, God, Baruch Shevod Malchuto, Olam Vaed. Me'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol meodecha. Hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavcha ha'om al avecha Veshim Beshivdecha bevetecha, uvlechtecha vaderech, uvshochbecha kumecha, ukshartam leot al yadecha, vehayu letotafot beinenecha, uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha, uvishecha. Leman tizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'tem kedoshim lelechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lihiyot lachem le'Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem.
Page 40. Page 40, we find Micha Mocha, which is our song of freedom. The Israelites crossed the Red Sea and they sang this song to God, saying, "Who is like you, God, among the gods that are worshipped," for helping us to cross the Red Sea, helping us to be liberated from slavery. And so we take this moment in our service to remember that we are free, and now our obligation is to make sure that everyone can be free.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar ba'kodesh. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar ba'kodesh. Nora tehilot osef eleh, Nora tehilot osef eleh, Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed. Malchutecha ra'u banecha, Bokea yam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, Ze'elianu ve'amru, Ze'elianu ve'amru, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Yai lai 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 lai, Yai lai 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 lai, Yai lai 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai.
We turn now in our service to Hashkivenu. At home, you're going to see a slide with the lyrics that we're going to sing. Here, you should have received a packet when you came in. It is the very last page of your packet, has the words of the song that we will sing. The lyrics this evening are from Michelle Citron, is that correct?
Yes.
And so when we sing this song, it is our evening lullaby. It is a song for peace and protection. Michelle Citron is a contemporary Jewish musician, and Deb has chosen this particular version this evening, and it's quite special.
Yeah, I love to explore what people are doing with the meanings of the prayers and finding different ways to express the meaning of the prayer. That's why we switch them up. So. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, leshalom. Ve'hamidenu, shomreinu lechayim, lechayim. Ufros aleinu, Sukkot shalom. Aleinu. Aleinu. As I lay me down, may I feel peace all around, sheltered beneath your wings. May I feel safe and protected until a new day begins. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leShalom, leShalom. Ve'hamidenu, Shomreinu leChaim, leChaim. Sukkot Shalom, Sukkot Shalom, Sukkot Shalom, Aleinu, Aleinu,
A beautiful choice for this evening. Thanks, Deb. We turn to page 44, Vishamru. Vishamru is a reminder that we're here and it's Shabbat, as if we needed that reminder. But more importantly, it is a reminder that Shabbat is special and we have this gift of time, and that we celebrate in Judaism time. More than anything else, more than stuff, more than gifts, we celebrate time. And so with the singing of Vishamru, we that is indeed sacred. We sing together.
Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael, oti leolam, oti leolam. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yomim asa Adonai, asa Adonai, et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam.
Page 46, we begin the tefillah. Tefillah or Amidah, they're interchangeable titles. This is the center of the service as the rabbis designed it. And so on page 46, we recenter ourselves. It's almost like a little meditation, asking God to make sure that we speak praise in the middle of the service. And then on page 48, our next prayer that we will chant, it's a prayer that reminds us that we stand here today or sit here today in this sanctuary only because of the merit of our forefathers and foremothers. And then page 50 is a prayer about God's greatness. Page 52 is a prayer of the sanctification for Shabbat. We're going to chant straight through pages 46, 48, 50, and 52. Please rise in body or in spirit.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'Konei HaKol V'Zocher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot Umevi Geula Livnei V'Nehem Leman Shemo Ahava Melech Choser Umagen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai Mechaye hakol atah Rav lehoshia Mechalkel chayim bechesed Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim Somech noflim verofech cholim Umatir asurim Umekayem emunato Lishenei afar Michamocha ba'al gevurot Umidom lach Melech meimid umechaye Umatzmiach Yeshua V'ne'eman atah lehachayot hakol Baruch atah Adonai Mechaye hakol Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh Ukedoshim b'chol yom yahalelucha selah Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh.
Be seated. Page 60. Page 60 is the song Shalom Rav. Shalom, of course, means peace. It also comes from the word wholeness, and Rav means great or abundant. And so as we sing Shalom Rav, we are praying for an abundant peace. There's a great need for this song. And so as we sing Shalom Rav, we think about those in Ukraine who are still so in need of peace. And we think of all of those who have been so deeply affected by gun violence and are in need of peace. We sing together.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atah hu melech Adon Ki atah lechol hashalom. tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, tasim leolam. V'tov be'nech levarech et Amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, tasim leolam. Tasim leolam. Tasim leolam.
We take time in our service to think about all of those who are in need of healing, whether it be a healing of body, a physical healing, spiritual struggle, or mental illness. There are so many whom we love who are in need of healing. If you are at home, I hope you'll lift up the names of those whom you love in the chat. And here in the sanctuary, as my hand passes over the congregation, I hope you'll share the names of those.
Jane and Michael.
We join together in healing song. This evening, we are singing the healing prayer, I believe, from Todd Herzog. Is that?
Yes, this is Todd Herzog's, and I hope you'll sing it with me. It's not in the book, but it is a call and response. So during the verse, you will just repeat after me, and the other words are El Na Refana La. Try that. El Na Refana La, which means God, please heal her and heal all of us. It was spoken first by Moses about his sister Miriam. So we are going to sing that one. El na refana la nu. Try that with me. El na refana la nu. Dear God of our ancestors, dear God of our ancestors, help us renew our faith. Help us renew our faith. Grant us a perfect healing. Grant us a perfect healing. Bring peace to all our days. Bring peace to all our days. El na refana la nu. El na refana la nu. Restore our strength of body. Restore our strength of body. Help clarify our mind. Help clarify our minds. Refresh our tired spirits. Refresh our tired spirits. Rejuvenate our light. Rejuvenate our light. El na refana la nu. El na refana la nu. Thank you for all these blessings.
Thank you for all these blessings.
Throughout our days and nights,
Throughout our days and nights,
we celebrate the journey,
we celebrate the journey.
this precious gift of life.
This precious gift of life.
El Narifan Allah, Rifan Alanu. El Narifan Allah, Rifan Alanu. One more time. El Narifan Allah, Rifan Alanu. El Narifan Allah, Rifan Alanu.
We take just a moment for silent prayer and reflection.
Yiul ratzon imrefi. Yiul ratzon imrefi. V'hagyon libi lefanecha. Adonai tzuri begoali. Oh, may the words of my mouth, the meditations of my heart be acceptable before you, O God, my rock, my redeemer. Oseh shalom bimromav. Oseh shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'imeru. Ve'imeru. Amen.
So you're going to need your packet. We haven't done this in a long time. We're going to do a little studying together. It occurred to me that this Torah portion is ripe for us to study together because there's a lot to learn about Miriam. And I don't know about you, but I'm feeling the need for a little strong women this Shabbat. So we're going to learn a little bit about a strong woman. So let's take a quick look at the first text. And we are not going to look at all of these texts. I learned something really spectacular from a temple member whose husband is here, but she is not here, Susan Merdler. Susan always said that we needed to have parting gifts. And so there are a number of texts that we're not going to look at that you can go home and study on your own. And so this week's Torah portion is called Chukat. And in the Torah portion, there are a lot of rules and laws, but there's also this incredible narrative in the Torah portion. And what we study most in this Torah portion is, most of us know, is the striking of the rock, right? Moses gets angry, there isn't enough water, and he hits the rock, and that's why he is told that he cannot enter the promised land. A little piece that we're not going to spend a lot of time on is that Moses is actually told that he was to speak to the rock, and what he does is he hits the rock twice. So he actually was never even told to hit the rock. And he hits the rock twice, and that's why he gets in trouble. The reason that there isn't any water, this is what we're going to study. So let's look at the underlined text in Numbers chapter 20. The Israelites arrived in a body at the wilderness of Zin on the first new moon, and the people stayed at Kadesh. Miriam died and was buried there. That's what we learn about Miriam. The next verse. The community was without water, and they joined against Moses and Aaron. So what do we know from those two verses? A couple of facts. What facts do we have? Anybody want to yell out? Miriam died. Thank you. There's no water. And one more thing. They're mad? Okay. That's all we know. That's all we know. How do we know? Okay, so for those of you at home, Muriel said, was it Muriel? Am I right? Yeah. I just wanted to make sure I got the right speaker. Because some say, why is there no water? Because Miriam is the one that brought it along. Do we know that? Does it say that in the text? No. Okay. So there's a wonderful, wonderful text that teaches the reason that the Israelites didn't have water is because Miriam brought the water with her everywhere she went. This is called Miriam's well. And when Miriam died, the water dried up. But we don't have any proof of that in the text. So how many of you, anybody, had heard about Miriam's well or the water? And how many of you thought maybe it was actually in the Torah? Deb did. Being honest, Deb. I appreciate it. Okay, so let's turn the page. So the rabbis say, the rabbis of the Midrash, of the Talmud, those who interpret the Torah, say that because these two verses were next to each other, verse 1 and verse 2 in this Torah portion, yes, Miriam was the source of water. And that's the only reason, because these verse 1 and verse 2, the water dried up because Miriam died, and the only reason is because these two verses were next to each other. And why do we know that? Look at this Ta'anit 9a. What is Ta'anit? It's from the Talmud. So if anybody ever asks you, have you studied Talmud? You can now say, yes, I have studied Talmud. So why is there, and if you ever said, I didn't want to study Talmud, I can say too bad. So, because I have you captive. So why is there regular writing and bold? Okay, so the bold is all that you're going to see to the right in the Hebrew. It's actually Aramaic. We're not going to get into that. And everything else that's not bold is what's been interpreted so you can make sense of it. Okay, so we're going to jump down to, let's see, a couple sentences down where it says 3 good gifts were given from heaven. Okay, so there's 3 gifts from heaven because of Moses, Aaron, and Miriam. What are these gifts? Because of their agency, the well of water, the pillar of cloud and the manna. So the well was given because of Miriam. The well was given to the Jewish people in the merit of Miriam. Now, you see where the underline is? Now I'm going to jump down. When Miriam died, the well disappeared, as it is stated, and Miriam died there. And it says thereafter in the next verse, and there was no water for the congregation. They've just decided this is why there's no water, because Miriam died. A word about merit. The word merit in the concept of merit in Hebrew is zechut. When we have merit, like our forefathers and foremothers did, this is a very big deal, right? We have merit because of what Miriam did, because of what Sarah and Rebecca did. We have this honor due to us. So because of what Miriam did, she merited the well. Well, why did she get water? What did she do to get the water? Why did she have water? What do you think Miriam did to deserve water? What was so great about her? What? She put Moses in the river. You are amazing. Flip over the page. It got cut off, but it is actually the next page. So it says the nature of the well in the middle. Okay. So it says the well was due to the merit of Miriam, who merited the water through watching over Moses at the Nile, as it is written, and his sister was stationed at a distance. Exodus 2:4. So because she saved Moses, she was given this extraordinary gift of this well, literally following her everywhere she went, no matter what. And when Miriam died, the water died. She was that gifted, that powerful. So I want to give you one more piece that's interesting. So if you turn to the last page, the page not with the song. What else do we learn about Miriam and the water? So I'm looking at Shulchan Aruch. The Shulchan Aruch is the set table. It's a medieval text. And it says, there are those who say to draw water from wells or natural springs every Saturday night, because the well of Miriam passes through all the wells and natural springs every Saturday night, and one who touches it and drinks it will be healed from all of his afflictions. So, and then the commentary goes and goes and goes and says, I don't agree with you, I don't agree with you. And then they get into an argument. How shocking, they get into an argument. So the argument continues. So what are we learning about Miriam? Not only did Miriam merit the water, but these waters were considered healing. And this is one of the reasons the Israelites stayed alive for 40 years, that the water followed them wherever they went, and the water had properties of healing. And so you can see actually the last poem on this page, Miriam's Well. So I went through all the historical process all the way to modern times. Every piece of Midrash is contained in this poem by Rabbi Lynn Gottlieb. Everything from the waters to the healing to what Miriam was capable of doing. So the water fed and nourished the Israelites. The water healed the Israelites. It gave them strength and it gave them song. All of these things is what Miriam was capable of doing. And when Miriam died, the water didn't just dry up. The healing power dried up, song dried up, everything dried up. So Miriam merited a lot of power from this one act of taking Moses and making sure he was safe and went down the Nile. There's a little bit of woman power for you for this Shabbat, and you can now say you studied classical rabbinic text. Shabbat Shalom. And Deb has one of the songs of Miriam for us.
Yeah, I had a hard time deciding which one. So for those of you who were looking for the water in the well, I apologize. I chose the other one, but I think you like this one too. And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one whom we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long. And Miriam was a weaver of unique variety. The tapestry she wove was one which sang our history. With every strand and every thread she crafted her delight. A woman touched with spirit, she dances toward the light. And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one whom we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long. When Miriam stood upon the shores and gazed across the sea, the wonder of this miracle she soon came to believe. Whoever thought the sea would part with an outstretched hand, and we would pass to freedom and march to the promised land. And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one whom we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long. And Miriam the prophet took her timbrel in her hand, and all the women followed her just as she had planned. And Miriam raised her voice in song, she sang with praise and light. We've just lived through a miracle, we're going to dance tonight. And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one whom we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long. I chose that one because I loved the strength and the creativity that Miriam showed. I was actually inspired by your
text sheet?
your Torah talk that was sent out in the Temple Times, and she talked about the leadership and the creativity so that was why I chose this one.
Thank you. We are going to turn to Aleinu on page 283. Please rise in body or in spirit. Let us adore the ever-living God and render praise unto you, who spreads out the heavens and established the earth, whose glory is revealed in the heavens above, and whose greatness is manifest throughout the world. You are our God, there is none else.
Ma'anachnu korim umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamachim Kadosh Baruch Hu V'nemar V'haya Adonai Lemelech al kol haaretz Bayom hahu Yeh Adonai echad Ushemo echad.
Please be seated. We turn now in our service to our time of remembering. Our memorial meditation is found on page 288. When I die, give what's left of me away to children and old men that wait to die. And if you need to cry, cry for your brother walking the street behind you, beside you. And when you need me, put your arm around anyone and give them what you need to give me. I want to leave you something better than words or sounds. Look for me in the people I've known or loved. And if you cannot give me away, at least let me live in your eyes and not in your mind. You can love me best by letting hands touch hands, by letting bodies touch bodies, and by letting go of children that need to be free. Love doesn't die, people do. So when all that's left of me is love, give me away. On this Shabbat, we remember those taken most recently in our temple family, in Shiva in the first week since their death, Charlotte Coleman, in Shloshim in the first month since their death, Constance Gordon. And we mourn the Yartzites and we remember the Yartzites, those taken at different years at this time, Maurice B. Abrams, Louis S. Bing, Phyllis Bogatz, Patricia W. Crystal, Manuel H. Eisner, Elaine Weiss Eisner, Emma Lerner Eisner, Charles Frankel, Bertha Beitman Herzog, Bertha Good Iglauer, Leah Jacobson, Ida Jaffe, David S. Cohn, Arthur Lefkowitz, George May, Eleanor W. Mayer, Ian S. Miller, Jenny Newhauser, Nathan J. Newman, Frank S. Peck, Lillian Podis, Fred Presand, Alice Vactor Rosewater, Yetta Rudolph, Stanley Shook, May Siegel, Marilyn J. Steele, Milton Stiller. Our griefs and sympathies are mingled as we turn to the mourner's Kaddish on page 294. Please rise in body or in spirit. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalma divra hirute v'yamlich malchute, v'chayechon u'vyomechon uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, v'agala uv'izman kari v'imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach leolam almei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, V'yit hadar, v'yit haleh, v'yit halal, shemei dekudasha barechu, le'elam minkol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amiran bi'alma v'imru, amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, huya aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and give comfort to all who are bereaved. And let us say together, amen. Please be seated. My pleasure to ask Andy Wasserman to come forward to share a few announcements and greetings.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Rabbi and Deb, for a beautiful service. It's not on. Okay. Okay. Thank you for a beautiful service. I love the candles. You're probably going to need to put out several more tables next time. Yes, and the music was beautiful. Thank you. Thank you to the dedicated staff at STKA, the volunteers, and leadership. Our Open Doors campaign has started or continues. Everyone should have received your personal information in the mail. Thank you for responding as soon as possible and for continuing to support STKA. We can't exist without you. I want to call special attention to our new recognition society, Modim. Thanks. Please consider increasing your commitment to be part of Modim. STKA, Fairmount Temple, and the Cleveland Rape Crisis Center are partnering to provide you with a workshop to recognize sexual trauma. Dates are Monday, July 11th and Tuesday, August 23rd. Find specific times and locations in your Temple Times bulletin or on our website. Everyone is welcome. Just please make sure you register with Charlotte, please, or email Charlotte. Our summer gatherings are still going on. If you're interested in outdoor yoga, farmers markets, or hiking, please visit the website or reach out to the office for more information and to register. And the last one is, we're so happy to see so many of you here tonight. We'll continue to worship outdoors if weather permitting, and we comply with the CDC guidelines for our mask requirements as indicated by the sign on our front door. Please check the website or Temple Times for current COVID policies. And Shabbat Shalom again.
Thank you, Andy. Our closing song, Deb,
Is Ein Kelohenu, an oldie but goodie.
page 322.
Einu, ein kadonenu, ein kemalkeinu, ein kemushienu, mich Eloheinu, mich adonenu, mich kemalkeinu, mich moshienu, nodel Eloheinu, nodel adonenu, nodel emalkeinu, nodel moshienu, Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu, Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshienu.
Let's please rise for our benediction, immediately followed by Motzi.
Yevarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and keep you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chumecha.
May the light of God's presence shine upon you and be gracious to you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha ve'yasem lecha shalom ve'yasem lecha shalom.
May God lift up each one of us, and may God bring us shalom, peace, and wholeness. Amen.
Amen. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our prayer is humbly said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. B'teavon.
Teavon, Shabbat
And Shabbat
Shalom.
Shalom.
Thank you. Thank you. It's so good to have you here.
Nice to meet you. Enjoy it.
What?
I enjoy it so much.
I love that you're here.